Start singing.
All right, welcome everybody. You did it. You made it through whatever this hiatus, or what do we call it, between seasons here. You got through seasons 1, 2, 3. Congratulate yourselves. Go brag to your friends or whatever if you have them. Welcome to season 4, episode 1, season 4 of this. Episode 1 will be the special section. Season 3, episode 6. It debuted on October 20th, 2002. So we're gonna get to that in a minute. Welcome back, everybody. The summer was a lot of bullshit. Wasn't as hot as it could have been. I can't really complain about that, but I'm kind of glad things are here for the fall. But before I get started, let me tell you people something. If you remember last season, I don't know what episode it was. I was raving about a Wegmans Pizza I got. This wasn't good for a quote-unquote Wegmans Pizza or grocery store pizza. This was easily one of my top 5 pizzas or top 10 pizzas of all time. I'll find out where I'll dig it up. I'll dig up the audio clip because I know you people can't be bothered to even listen to this shit. And I have to say, now a couple of months later, whatever, I ordered one again the other day, and now it's a little different. In this time, they didn't slice the meatballs. Remember last time I liked the way they were sliced, which I think I chalked it up. I discovered. I think it's because they had those meatball sandwiches with the meatball sliced that way for limited time. I think they used that. That's what it was. Anyway, other than that, this was another, I don't know how Wegmans does it. It's like eating butter and grease if it was if warm, freshly baked bread was dipped into it. And the other thing about Wegmans I don't understand is their crust, it looks very bready. You kind of look at it ooh, this is going to be it. But after I eat it, I feel it's like there's nothing in it. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about Wegmans with the pizza. They're absolutely crushing it. Wegmans Pizza, anytime you want to come on up and talk about it, you're more than welcome on this podcast. Hey, I do just live upstairs. Anyway, also this season 4 of Xmas Your Enthusiasm is brought to you by Roy Rogers. Roy Rogers. Hey, you're the one that picked the wrong exit. Just fucking eat it. Roy Rogers, official sponsor for season 4 of Xmas Your Enthusiasm. I don't think I'd said Xmas Your Enthusiasm the first minute or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, I'll take my $0 in salary and apply it to better training or something. Speaking of Panera, which I don't know if I was, for you people who are caught up, no, I'm deep in their Sip Club, their Panera Sip Club. Anyway, those keeping track, even after this summer, I just started this thing in May. The Sip Club, look it up. I'm not fucking explaining everything to you people. Just since halfway through May, during the summer when I was bouncing around all summer because I'm lucky enough to have shit to do sometimes on the weekends in the summer. I know it's hard to believe. I barely do myself. But now that I'm kind of hunkered down for the fall, I'm going to see what kind of damage I can do. So far, since May, the middle of May, I've saved $1,441 at Panera. I will let that soak in like the buttery grease in the hot, fresh bread at Wegmans. But I will say this about Wegmans. I'm fucking annoyed because next to Panera. Next to the Panera, there's these nice benches I like to sit at because that's where I'm at in my life. But I get annoyed because there's always cars pulling up. And then it dawns on me, I notice it's a lot of Uber drivers. And I'm like, now, most people who know me for more than no minutes know that I do have the palate of a 10-year-old child. Of course, not only is day one of my presidential administration going to be that adults can order off the kids menu, but I also have a childish, I would say, obsession with, if I hear that, oh, we're going to go to whatever fast food or whatever, I get excited like a fucking child because I'm not going to go, let's have salads, guys. No, I go down the road, I see, next rest stop, Wendy's, Bojangles, McDonald's, whatever. I get excited like a fucking 10-year-old. I don't know why I'm shitting on 10-year-olds, because from what I've learned about 10-year-olds today, they do eat a lot better than that. But anyway, so as much as I love Panera, and I do, and by that I do include the food. I've probably only had Panera's food in terms of the sandwiches and soups half a dozen times. Well, no, probably 10 times in my life. Uh, so it is good food, but it's not like, oh, we're cracking open Uber Eats and we're going to skate past the Arby's to tuck into Panera. It's like Panera is always really good. I'm hungry. Where do you want to go? Oh, we're at a Panera. Great. Very happy. If I'm opening up, Pandora's box of fast food restaurants, am I like really digging into Panera? Like, I don't know. It's very weird. But apparently I'm in a minority because I can't sit on these benches for more than 10 seconds without another, fleet of cars coming in every 10 seconds. So, anyway, so welcome back to season 4. You're caught up on Wegmans and Panera, I think. Oh, speaking of Panera, outside of Panera, I guess it's going to stay some sort of park. I assume they're just going to eventually build another apartment building like mine up there, but who knows. Anyway, so now they have it. They have some nice stuff. It's like, I don't know what they call it. It's not a playground, but it's like got shit to like bring your dog, bring your kids. It's set places to sit and whatever. It's, very nice. And one morning I'm walking by there to my Panera. Thank you very much. And I notice there's some women doing yoga there. And then before I realized I'd been kind of looking at them for like, 10, 15 seconds. Because I'm just like, oh, what's happening over there? Plus I'm blind as a bat. So I'm kind of used to catching myself like over staring sometimes. Like, oh, shit. So I caught myself, I'm like, you don't want to be the guy, the old creepo at the building who's like staring at the women trying to do yoga outside. So I was like, so I was horrified. Now, I don't think anybody saw me. They didn't see me. And if they had, they wouldn't have given a shit. Trust me. So I was like, ooh. So I pop into my Panera to get my drink or whatever, and I'm out, and all of a sudden, I don't know if I got a text, I can't remember, or something. Anyways, I'm looking at my phone. I'm like holding up my phone like you normally would to read. All of a sudden, I realized I was positioned such that I was facing out towards the women doing yoga, such that anybody who saw me, unlike a couple of minutes before where they could have said, oh, who's this asshole staring at, women doing yoga? Now it looks like, oh, who's this asshole filming these women doing yoga? So then I had to like scurry off like a rat after that. And I haven't seen anybody out there since doing yoga. Now that I think about it, I mean, it's been a couple of weeks. I don't think they know. I don't think they stopped because of me. Unlike the people a year ago or a couple of years ago on my very hall who put out those lovely Halloween pumpkins and stuff outside their door. And I was so overwhelmed with how happy it made me one time. I left them a note. And I said, hey, just wanted to say I really appreciate all the stuff you're doing for Halloween out here. It's really great. Gives me a little smile when I walk by, yada, yada, yada. Left a note. Felt great. I was like, wow, this is so great. I hope they know, I hope they know that someone appreciates what they're doing. What a world that would be. Boom. Next day, the shit was gone. So I don't know if it was me or what, but now that I'm saying this, I never thought about this with the yoga before, but it's been a couple days, and I'm going to start noticing if they're there. I'll give you a report. Don't worry about it. I do have a small talk update because, as I'm trying to do my walk-in Wegmans outside laps. I'm always running in, past people. You usually do the nod or whatever, but I have learned if you really want to win parents over, if they have kids, 100% sure. Now I should fucking sell this shit. I don't know why I'm giving this away for free. There's 2 magical phrases you say to little kids that are with their parents at a grocery store, and you're golden forever. If I'm walking, they're heading my way, I'm walking, and there's a little boy, kind of popping out front doing little, 4-year-old little boy shit. I wait till I'm close enough and I go, oh, here comes trouble. And I'll put up my hands like, oh boy. The parents love this shit. Not as much as if it's a girl. If it's a daughter walking ahead of them, then I get to do the old, here's the boss. Automatic, I'm forever in their hearts if I, if they live in the building and I see them again, I'm just gold. I could probably just take money from him. If not, who cares? So a little bit of advice for you, a little small talk advice. Maybe I'm gonna write that down. That should be a regular thing here. Small talk advice, because I did have a breakthrough on the elevator. I realized the more people on the elevator, the easier it is to kind of orchestrate or puppet master a little funny, boom, something funny to say to get the laugh going, so that as you're, by the time one of us is leaving the elevator, there's no more room for small talk. They're laughing. Time's over. Boom. So maybe I'll put together a little workshop on all of that. Before we get started the episode, don't forget Season 4 of Xmas Your Enthusiasm is brought to you by Roy Rogers. Roy Rogers, you're the one who picked the wrong exit. Just eat the shit. Okay, as I said, we're getting started this season, the first episode with the special section. Season 3, Episode 6, October 20th, 2002. I don't know why it's so important for me to fucking tell you people this. Anyway, real quick, the IMDb says, Larry works in New York and returns to learn his mother died and was buried in an area for criminals because she had a tattoo. He plots to get his mother moved out of the special section, and he uses the loss to decline unwanted invites. Okay, so right off the bat we have, so Larry's in New York. Larry's been acting on a Marty Scorsese film. And the opening scene is one of my favorite Curb scenes. Larry's just hilarious. I wish he did. Just watch it. You've obviously watched it if you're listening to this dumb shit. Anyway, he's been worried because his mother's sick. Gets home, and his dad tells him, oh, by the way, your mother's dead. Now, and the whole joke is, she didn't want to bother you. And, the whole, I guess, the cartoonish Jewish mother they play in these things. And it's really funny. Like, I've always loved this episode. I think the whole Larry David using his mother's death to get out of things later on is like one of the most Larry David things there is. But, like, how stupid do we have to be to believe that Larry somehow had no idea his mother had died? Well, you say, it might have just happened. It didn't just happen. It happened so long ago, they already had a funeral on, and I quote, back on Monday, which was already at least a number of days. It sounds like it was at least a week since the funeral. So I can understand not wanting to bother, like, I can understand telling someone, hey, don't bother them, let them do their thing until I die. Like, I don't want to bother them, having them come, and then I'm fine, and then they leave, they come back, I'm fine, and then it's like, but once I'm dead, like, does don't bother them extend to my death? Because let me tell you, motherfucker, something, it better not extend to me in my life. If you even sniff that I'm nearing death, you people better be dropping everything for a while. Understand? Don't be bothered. Get the hell out. And after I die, you better fucking fly across country or wherever the hell you need to go to throw yourself on my box when I die. Don't think for a second, because I love this episode, that for a second I won't want any of this bullshit. You better be fucking stuff. Don't bother. Get the hell out of here with that shit. But the other big thing, now that I'm thinking about it, is that, again, this isn't, oh, she died last night and I just didn't want to tell you till you got here. I didn't want to say it on the phone. I guess that's understandable if you knew Larry was already coming to visit you anyway, which he was. Which I may have missed telling you anyway. Larry flew back to California. So it's not even as if, oh, she died, but I'm going to wait till Larry gets here so I can tell him to his face. It might be a couple hours. This was like at least a week or whatever. And people have gone to the funeral. He makes a joke about, not a joke, but he's pissed because somebody signed the guest book. So is this the greatest kept secret in the world? How does nobody, it never gets back to Larry David from any of these people at this funeral. Oh, your mother died. Nobody reached out. Oh, sorry to hear about whatever her name was, Miss Larry David. I mean, how did they all have to sign NDAs? How much of a lockdown did the father have on these motherfuckers showing up at the funeral? What did he have on them to be like, if Larry finds out about this, I'm going to come chop all your fucking heads off. We'll be back here in 1 week. How was this kept a secret? I promise you more people knew D-Day was happening that weren't supposed to, apparently, than fucking knew about this. So it's beyond absurd, but it is It's not just hilarious, but it's Larry David hilarious. And so they get in an argument. Of course, Larry's like, "How the fuck? Why wouldn't you fucking tell me?" And obviously, Larry wins that. You have to tell someone their mother's died. You can't wait like a week. But again, the bigger mystery is how did this thing keep a fucking secret for a month or whatever? I mean, in Hollywood, I mean, those people know how to fucking chat. Like, this isn't deep woods somewhere where they know how to keep quiet. Come on now, that's a lot to swallow. But anyway, so Larry goes up. Larry starts out. Oh shit! I put the wrong column. Shit, that's Larry starts out the season 1-0 so far for the episodes. We'll see if he keeps it up. Let's see if he stays undefeated. Let's see if Larry keeps his no going for the entire 10 episodes of this season of Xmas Your Enthusiasm, which of course is brought to you by Roy Rogers. Roy Rogers, you're the one who took the wrong exit. Just eat the shit. Okay, now his cousin, the always welcome Richard Kind, who we love, who I always forget his name. God damn it. Not Stan. I'll remember it at some point. He comes in. He immediately starts talking about what a great funeral it was. And I quote, well attended. But then it turns out he was in New York. He flew back for the funeral. But then he and Larry get in a fight because he's like, he tells Larry, you were in New York, you should have called me. And Larry's like, well, I was working, And Richard Kahn's like, you still call me. You can still call me. And Larry makes a good point. He's like, I don't call you when we're here. Like, why would I call you? I think we all have friends like that or family. It's like, we pop into the city, whatever. It's like, all right, I got too much shit to do. Don't want to, And why would you call them? I don't call them. Actually, that happened 100 years ago when my little brother was moving. And I said, oh, damn, I'm gonna. That's a bummer. You're moving further away. I'm, miss you. And then he said, you didn't come visit me when I was living at X, which was a good point. Anyway, Larry wins that one. Yeah, nobody's fucking calling you, Richard Kind, because he's in town. He doesn't call you when you're home, when y'all are home. So Larry's starting out strong, 2-0. Is Richard Kind's character Stan? God damn it! I feel like it's something with an S. I don't want to look it up. I'll keep you posted, people. Okay, now Larry's using his mother's dying to get out of having to go to stuff, lunches or dinners or parties. Absolutely brilliant. It reminds me of the Wonder Years had that reboot a couple years ago. I guess it was a reboot, but this time it was still set in '68, but it was a black family in Alabama. So you had that perspective. And this episode was when MLK was shot. And the kid quickly realized that at school he could get out of doing a lot of homework and stuff because the white teachers and everything felt bad and felt guilty. So he got out of stuff, which was pretty ballsy. And that is some Larry David shit. A kid using Martin Luther King's death to get out of homework. I mean, whatever it is brilliant and hilarious on television. So anyway, okay, so Larry's going to visit his mother's grave. He finds out it's not where he thought it was supposed to be. It's not where he had paid for her to be. Turns out she was moved because apparently in Jewish cemetery you cannot have a tattoo, which was a great Brockmire joke, I think, in the first episode of that, in the pilot episode of Brockmire, before that show got too weird. And so he goes to the head of whatever that is, and is like, what the fuck? Why'd you move my mother? And because she had a tattoo, Jewish law says tattoo, no burial. And, they get arguing about it. And on one hand, of course, Larry's right in that it's ridiculous. Why would you go through all that? Well, what am I saying? It's not like they had to dig her up. But that's kind of like no one would ever know. And whatever, so on and on. But then it's like, I don't understand. I know nothing about Jewish law. I don't know anything of that stuff. So I would defer. Look, if that's what this guy, who's, I guess, an expert in this stuff says, it is what it is. Larry cannot win that, except in our hearts and minds. Although it did occur to me, it's amazing. You see this shit 1,000 times and you don't think... Obviously, Larry David paid for this fucking cemetery plot, right? I'm pretty sure his parents are on his bankroll for all this shit anyway. why would he not have been contacted by this place when they moved her plot or changed her plot? He's paying the bill, obviously. Why wouldn't he have gotten a call so that this whole thing wouldn't have ever happened in terms of like gone a week without knowing? Anyway, so that's ridiculous. But I hate to give Larry his first loss on something that his heart's in the right place and we all agree with him, but I defer Jewish law, graveyard law, whatever. I don't know the regular fucking law, so I got to give Larry the loss on that one. This guy wins. I mean, he was wearing a black suit, so I assume he's an expert. So, first loss of the season. No big deal, Larry. Larry's at 2-4 for the episode right now. 2-4. Larry David. Andy. Richard Kine's name is Andy. And fuck y'all, because I remembered it before they've said it. He popped up in a scene. They never said a word. I remembered his name. Fuck y'all. Nobody believed in me. Now Larry and Andy getting a little argument. Andy says that you cannot get good Chinese food in Los Angeles like you can in New York. And Larry absolutely wins this one because that is patently absurd. Like, Asia's going to pass over L.A., California, and just double their journey to get to New York City. Of course, you can get the fuck. That's ridiculous. I can't even. Andy. I'm Andy. 3-1 Larry David. Quick note. Now Larry, Andy, and Larry's father. Larry wants to go pay off the gravedigger and have him dig up her body and move her to the real section. And they go back and forth and whatever. Not even arguing. They're just kind of talking about it. And I'm like, okay. Oh, and Larry says, people, I forget what the exact quote is, but you can pay people enough money, they'll do anything. How does none of these motherfuckers go, well, why don't you fork over one of your shrimp boats to the head guy you were just talking to who makes all these decisions instead of grabbing a bunch of shovels and digging up a corpse and then moving her where? Where do you think you're moving her that they're not going to notice? Nobody picks up on this idea of paying people off with, hey, why don't you go pay off the main guy who could just make this problem disappear? Jeez, not really Mensa meeting going on over here. Okay, so early in the episode, Larry had given his old mantra from when he did meditation to Richard Lewis. Great to see Richard Lewis, always. He said, use my old mantra. I haven't used it. And he makes it seem like decades. So, of course, now that Richard's starting to use it, now Larry calls him up and says, you know what? I want it back. You can't use it. I mean, this is just a fucking child. Even Larry David sitting in a room with a typewriter, how does he create a scenario this fucking dumb? And let's take a wild guess how many times throughout the rest of the series Larry David even mentions meditation, which is exactly probably 0. I thought a minute ago was fucking idiotic. Didn't occur. Oh, why don't I just use my trillions that are in my pockets right now to make this disappear? I thought that was the most ridiculous thing. But, excuse me, a little respect, sir, for this is even fucking dumber. Larry loses at 3-2. And I'll say this, that's not just a loss, that is an ugly loss. So now, not that it counts any different in the score book, I know. So now Larry is up 3-2 for the episode. Don't forget this episode. I'm sorry. This season of Xmas Your Enthusiasm is, of course, brought to you by Roy Rogers. Roy Rogers, you're the one who took the wrong exit. Just eat the shit. This is a weird one now. Richard pops into Larry's house. He's pissed at him. He had his mantra that Larry gave him or whatever. Translated, turns out it means fuck me. Which apparently is news to Larry, of course, because the only people who have dealt with it less over the decades than him is us. And so Rich is all pissed off and he storms out, fuck me, fuck you. And it's like, was this worth a trip to the house? Like, you two are comedians. Larry David's been your best friend or whatever since you were at camp. And you thought Larry David, out of thin air, pulled out, I don't know, is it Chinese? A Chinese phrase out of thin air that he knew what it meant to offend you if one day you happen to find out what it meant. whether it's today, tomorrow, 40 years from now, and then it doesn't occur to you, even if you thought that was possible, that your best friend, I don't know how I know this, but you don't know this, Richard Lewis, R.I.P., he's a comedian, and when you think he is just fucking with you, having a laugh or whatever, anyway, I'm sorry, Richard, but this whole thing was stupid. I don't know why. Pick up the fucking phone. That's a phone call. That's a phone call, Richard Lewis. Easy win for Larry. I don't think he said a word. He just stood there and nodded his head. 4-2. 4 wins, 2 losses for Larry in the episode so far. Okay, so the final run-in is Larry's at home, and all of a sudden the gravedigger shows up with the cops. Turns out Larry had accidentally given him, when he was bribing him to let him dig up his mother in the graveyard, because that, of course, happened. He gave him counterfeit money because he had it. He happened to have it from when he was on the Scorsese movie. Scorsese? Wait, who gives a shit? Scusa. And so the guy comes and has him arrested, and I'm like, I don't want to give the guy a loss, but like, do you really think that gazillionaire Larry David is willing to risk becoming known throughout Hollywood as the guy who digs his tattooed mother up from the graveyard, to the point that he's going to risk passing off counterfeit bills to this guy? This guy who can obviously, we just witnessed it, track him down in a heartbeat. It's not like he's in an old novel shuffling down the road a piece on, heading out west. So the idea that he wouldn't just call Larry and say, hey, look, you gave me the wrong fucking, money. Beyond that is ridiculous. Each one of these, it's funny. This is, Larry wins the episode, by the way, 5-2. This is actually one of my all-time favorite Curb episodes. The whole thing, the Scorsese thing in the beginning, is Larry's just off the charts. The whole taking advantage of his mother dying is incredible. But boy, when you really take 2 seconds to think, it's got a lot of super dumb shit, even for this dumb shit. Anyway, but hey, Larry comes out, first episode, wins 5-2. So thanks, everybody, for coming back for another season of Xmas Your Enthusiasm, Season 4. I hope this wasn't off to too much of a rough start. Anyway, and don't forget, this season is brought to you by Roy Rogers. Roy Rogers, you're the one who took the wrong exit. You eat the shit. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.